You see everybody having fun, everyone's dancing, everyone's having a good time. But you don't see the afterlife of that. You don't see the person that is struggling to get out of bed, that has to go to the liquor store at 6 o'clock in the morning just to get the shakes to go away. When I turned 19 is when I decided to move out and become very independent. I started working in the nightlife, doing bottle service and bartending, and I did that for the next 10 years of my life. My self-esteem was very low because of the emotionally abusive relationships that I had been in, and a lot of my drinking came from just running away from feelings. I didn't want to feel, and so I covered it up with alcohol. It was my way of escaping. When I was 29, I worked at the steakhouse and I was bartending, and my life at the time, I was so depressed. I was put on anti-depressants, I was put on anti-anxieties, and I was self-medicating with alcohol, which was a complete recipe for disaster. And I remember being behind the bar one night and just crying out to God and saying, you know, I know there's more purpose to my life than this, than being a bartender. I remember one night, I was in my room, and I was living in Orange County at the time and working at a nightclub, and I had relapsed again. And my brother had called me and said, you need to call the pastor that you met at Harvest. And I said, Ryan, I have moved 4 times. I have no idea where that card is. And I got off the phone with my brother and got out of bed, and there was that card sitting on the dresser, waiting for me to call the pastor. I called him right away, and he remembered who I was, and I met him and his wife the next day at that church. That is where they told me about Teen Challenge. And I was so broken and so desperate to get the help that I needed. They told me it was a year long, and I said, I'm gonna do it. I just want a brand new life. I wanna follow what the Lord has for me. I had tried to go work at a club again, and my GPS wasn't getting me to where I needed to be. I ended up in this parking lot. I didn't know where I was, and God spoke to me audibly and said, I'm not done with you. You need to go back to Teen Challenge. And so I remember going to Bakersfield and with a different attitude, with a different mindset of really wanting what God had for me this time. I remember being in the chapel and looking out the window and just thanking Him that I am behind this window and not behind bars, that I didn't kill somebody with my careless driving and drinking, that I wasn't dead or hospitalized, and that He had given me a new chance. I remember just feeling so complete, and my grandma was 95, and I kept praying for her to be able to see me go full circle. And she did. She got to see me get hired on as staff in 2017, and I've been there ever since. I met my husband, Michael, who is an amazing husband and father. God gave me more than I could ever dream of. I love all the blessings that God has given me, and I'm just so grateful for it. And I just continue to seek the Lord in everything that I do, and I owe it all to God.